What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of the show. And today we have an absolute banger for you. And I'm not sure if that's because I'm all hopped up on caffeine. I'd say right now I'm pushing about 350 milligrams, and we're going to keep driving that number up as the show goes on. So I have no clue what's going to happen. Just finished a workout. I'm no better version of me. I'm no better version of me. I'm the best version of me after a workout. So you guys are in for a treat today. Hopped up on caffeine, workout done, feeling chipper, feeling spry, pumped to be here. Let's go. All right, meme of the week. Now, I know we haven't talked about this before, but I basically go on social media. If it's not in my private Facebook pages where I chat with my clients and stuff like that, but the regular face space, I call it free world face space. And that includes everything, the gram, the Facebook, the TikTok, all of the things. I go there for animal videos, memes, and just to see the world of chaos, for lack of a better term. This week's meme of the week hit me funny. I'm a funny guy. Like, I look for shit that's funny. I don't look for sad crap or things to get all bent out of shape about. We're going to talk about that in a second as well. But I look for things that just make me chuckle. And sometimes off-handed things make me laugh. And I saw a meme the other day, and it basically said, I can tell that you grew up in an era or something like that when running your mouth had no consequences. And it hit me like nostalgically, thinking like, when I grew up in, like, I was born in 1974. So growing up in the late 70s, 80s, early 90s, graduated high school in 1993, that period of time, was especially where I grew up in the South. Like, we drank out of water hoses. There was very little safety protocols for anything. Nobody wore a helmet to ride a bike. I would say the sports equipment we had was comical at best to prevent injuries and things of that nature. Broke my foot once when I jumped off of a house, like unsupervised. Like, this is the world I grew up in. And it was also the world where, I posted up, I shared the meme and I said, I grew up in an era where running thy mouth was followed by whipping thy ass. And that was across the board. That was with mom. That was with at school. Like, I grew up in an era where teachers could paddle you. That was on the playground. Like, hey, okay, we got a problem. We're going to meet after school. We're going to handle the business. Like, I didn't grow up in an era where you got to freely run your mouth. Like, today is wild. Like, the shit I see people talking about online, like, if in the 80s, somebody showing up at your house, and not for what they show up at your house now for. I'm not talking about all the chaos and craziness. I'm talking just for a good old fisticuffs. Just a good old fashioned, hey, here we go, right? And then afterwards, you're usually pals. Maybe not friends, but there was a mutual respect. But this day and age, some of y'all are wild. I mean, some of y'all are wild. Like, you can tell that mom never said to you, go get the belt. Like, and I'm not, listen, I deserved every one of those. And we're going to talk about that in a second. So let's just move on to that. Funny moment of the week for me was, it's about to happen last week. I don't remember, 2 weeks ago. I had a client, and he was talking about ecstatic dance. And he was saying that he and his wife had went to this retreat, and they had this class they took, and it was an ecstatic dance where there's music playing, and you go in and you basically just flail around, kind of like Elaine from Seinfeld. I don't know if any of you guys are Seinfeld fans, but if you've ever seen the episode where Elaine dances, or the episodes where she dances, absolute shenanigans, chaos, right? It's just no choreographed movements or anything. It's just basically flailing around, for lack of a better term. And this has been around for a while. And I said, you know what? I don't know if that's for Jay. Like, I'm the guy, like, at the sixth grade dance, I'm hanging out in the corner. Maybe I'm going to hit that slow dance at the end of the night, find the lucky lady, sixth grade. You know how it goes. I was probably looking at an eighth grader, maybe even a freshman in high school, kind of have the brain back. Anyway, I digress. I'm not much of a flailing dancer, even to this day and age. You know what I mean? Like, I don't quote unquote rock and roll dance. I'm more of a bob and weave kind of guy. Maybe stand in the corner, get a little head bob going on, got a nice cocktail, having a good time. Anyway, he's talking about ecstatic dance, and I said, I don't think so, bro. That doesn't sound like. He's like, you got to activate your inner child. And I said, dude, we don't need it. This inner child's going to be a problem. Like, we bring this inner child back to the party. Everybody else's inner child is crying in the corner, and I'm in the principal's office, right? We're in HR. So we don't even need to, he's good. He's good. Where the inner child is for me is where he needs to be put into a lockbox. We appreciate your service. You're no longer needed. You know what I mean? I don't know how you guys feel about that. If you guys are ecstatic dancers or flailers or whatever it might be, just doesn't sound like something for me. I feel like I'm good on that front. But look, I'm absolutely good on that. But if you've done it, hey, let me hear about it. Tell me about it. Maybe I'll get into it. I mean, if you know anything about me, stiff as a board, got zero rhythm, zero. I couldn't dance my way out of a problem if I wanted to. Right. It's probably where that goes back to like running your mouth thing. Like it's going to end up in an ass whipping. I was more of the ass whipper than the dancer of the thing. So, all right. Reality TV update. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to go down the road of like trying to walk you through what I'm watching. I'm going to tell you, we started Temptation Island. Like I mentioned, we started it last night. We're not even through episode 1 yet, but it's going to be straight trouble. Straight trouble. Because first episode, I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do a little bit. First episode, they all talk about, no, we're here just to test the quality of our relationship and like just to get closer and get bonded and the guy's like, hey, okay, what are the rules? And everybody's like, well, there's no physical touching, we're there for the emotional and try to grow and evolve. We're not 30 minutes in, and it's a toga party like you wouldn't. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to get into the details of it, but this show is completely unhinged in all the best ways from a viewing perspective. Like if you're a viewer of this, but if you go on this show, you're just strictly asking for problems, or maybe you already know you want out, like I said last week, and then this is just a great opportunity to be on the television and to go ham. But wow, I mean, it's not a good thing. Let's just say don't fill out the application if you're on the fence, because it's just going to make you look horrible. And I forgot about this. I've been talking about reality TV for the last few episodes. Your boy, was almost in air quotes. I still have the rejection letter, so I can prove this. I was almost on a reality TV show. I want to say in like the mid 90s. It might've been like 90, well, probably like 96, 97. Something. I'm guessing on that because I have to pull the letter out to see exactly when that was. Maybe close to 2000. I don't know. But anyways, the show Big Brother. So I filled out the application, sent in my video. And this is back when you had to send a video in. I sent a VHS tape. You guys know what that is? Like you used to go to Blockbuster and rent these. I sent a VHS tape to the network with my application. And lo and behold, I get a call from a producer that says, hey, you've been chosen to move to the next round. And I'm like, what? Like, yeah. I'm like, okay, here we go. And I was a big fan of the show Big Brother. I want to say it hadn't been on for many episodes. I mean, maybe like 3 or 4 seasons. So I get this War and Peace size binder in the mail of documentation that I had to fill out. I basically had to sign away my rights to unborn children, to a potential kidney transplant on the black market, blood type, signing over my likeness, my voice, my any and everything. You basically had to say yes to. This was back in the day before the internet was even really a big thing. I don't even remember if there was. Definitely wasn't Facebook. Definitely wasn't any of that stuff. So this was like old school TV. And so I fill out all of that. I have my own producer that she's touching base with me, like an assistant producer, whatever. And she's like touching base with me every week. Like, hey, have you filled it out? I'm like, yeah, I just sent it back. Okay. Hey, we got your documentation. We're reviewing it. So I'm waiting for like a few weeks. And then I get a phone call. And she's like, hey, Jay, good news. You've been moved to the next round. Like I'm in like round 4 now. And she's like, this means that we're actually coming to your town. They came to Dallas. I was living in Dallas, Fort Worth at the time. They came to Dallas and set up in a TV studio. And you basically went to the TV studio like in staggered increments, so you wouldn't see other participants that may or may not be trying out for the show. They give you like your call time or whatever. And so I had to go to the TV station and basically sit and do a Barbara Walter style interview with one of the producers of the show, like literally on a stage, like you would see like an interview on TV now. I'm in a chair. She's in a chair. There's lights everywhere. There's mic guys. I'm mic'd up. There's a boom mic, like wild for somebody who's never like been behind the scenes of like TV or anything of that nature. Remember, I'm a child at this stage. I'm in my like early 20s. I'm an absolute idiot. I know nothing about anything. And so there basically, it was like a 2 hour interview of them just asking me questions and trying to learn my personality and trying to like figure out, well, what would you do in this situation? Well, what would you do in that situation? And I was so naive to the process that they kept asking me about like ex-girlfriends and ex-girlfriends and ex-girlfriends. And was it a bad breakup? And was blah, 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 like all these things. And I just kept thinking like, no, like, I mean, as a kid, you're like, no, no, it's fine. Just, it didn't work out, moved on. No, no, they were really cool. Didn't work out, moved on, blah, blah, blah. And there was even some of that in the paperwork that I had to fill out. But I thought they were just trying to figure out like how you handled like relationships and breakups and conflict and things of that nature. And they asked for specific things like when was the relationship? What was their name? Do you have their address and phone number? And I'm like, nah. I mean, again, this is back before social media. So like when you left a girlfriend, if it wasn't in the same town, like I don't remember anybody's address. I barely even knew my own address or my own phone number. So I just kind of left all that stuff really vague and blank. And when they were asking me the questions, I was kind of like, no, I feel like it was good. Like, I mean, they probably hate me, but I like them. That type of thing. And so I go through the interview, the whole thing. Couple of weeks pass. I get a call from my producer and she's like, hey, good news, bad news, bad news, good news. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Probably didn't make it, whatever. And she's like, you weren't chosen as one of the the cast members, but you are one of the alternates. So if something happens that somebody backs out, will you be available on short notice to do the show? And I was like, my boss at the time was Steve Ricks, and I told you guys last week how amazing that human was, and he's a big reality TV guy. And I'm like, hey, Stevie Ricks, like, listen to this. He's like, he's like, we'll figure it out. Like, absolutely not a problem. Like, if it's meant to be, you're going to be on the show. So again, shout out to Steve Ricks, unbelievable human. Stevie, I wish we would have made it, baby. If we would have got there, but trust me, probably shouldn't have got. Probably a good thing in hindsight. But anyway, made it as an alternate, never actually got on the show, still had my rejection letter. And then in watching that season of the show, what they did is they brought, if I would have been on the show, they would have surprised me with one of my ex-girlfriends from the past. And they would have just came on the show and we would have been on the show together. So, I mean, who knows? Like, if they even reached out to people and they're like, no, we can't find anybody to do this with you. Who knows why it went down, how it went down. But in hindsight, as a 50-year-old man at this stage, knowing what I know, and again, I would have been lucky because this would have been before social media. Like, if I was on during a social media time, I mean, can you imagine the roasting and the chaos that would have taken place there? But still, it probably would have been bad for my trajectory in life to be where I am today as what I consider what I self-prescribed rational human, has his head on fairly straight, not an egomaniac, those types of things. That probably would have absolutely ruined me. I mean, to be honest, at young 20s on TV, I would have been a problem, an absolute disaster. So CBS, ABC, can't remember what network it was. Thanks for having me, but not officially having me. So there's a reality TV update for you. A little coffee to keep the flow going. Let's go back to the internet. I told you guys I go there for animal videos, memes, and just the chaos of the world. Whoa, some of you guys, again, it goes back to like that run of the mouth thing and with no consequences. When I see two grown men fighting on the internet, like keyboard warrioring it against each other, I'm embarrassed. And I know both of those guys didn't grow up like I grew up, because you just know better. Like if you grew up in the situations that I was raised in and how I was taught, like, hey, that's going to have a consequence. Like, it's embarrassing. So dudes, if you're listening, I just need you to stop it. Seriously. I don't care what it's about. I don't care if it's about how you cut your grass. I don't care if it's about politics. I don't care if it's about sports. I don't care what it's about. You got to stop it. You really do. Because it's super embarrassing. And if you have a family, you're embarrassing your wife and your children. And they don't need that. They don't deserve that. Same thing goes for you, ladies. I've seen some wild shit from you too. So don't get on the high horse now. Some of you guys are wild. Some of you guys are a little unhinged. So let's put the door back on the hinges and let's just start being nice to each other. Like, trust me, I see some shit on the internet and I'm like, oh, hell no. And then my fingers just won't type. You know what I mean? Like my brain says, well, that's a problem. And then my fingers are like, that's not who we are. All right. So you got to have that, you got to have that discernment when it comes to being, I did a podcast a long time ago when I had the old show, this Ride Forever Fit show. And it was about don't step in the dog shit. And what that means is like when you're walking down the sidewalk and somebody lets their dog defecate on the sidewalk and doesn't pick it up. And while we're on that topic, stop that too, because you're a problem. Same, I go in the same category of people who don't return their shopping cart or re-rack their weights at the gym. You got pick it up anyway. And you see the dog shit, but you step in it anyway, just because it's there. You're like, well, somebody shouldn't have had it there, right? It's like, just go around it. Just literally either walk around it. That's like the internet. If you see something you don't agree with, just walk around it. Literally just like take a sidestep and keep on cruising. Now, if you want to pause for a minute, talk to yourself, chuckle, whatever, but don't get crazy. Don't listen, people post wild shit on my page all the time. I usually reply to them with something humorous. Like I'm not about to fight with a grown ass person on a computer. Like, what are we doing? You got to get better than that. So men, women, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, if you're fighting with somebody on the internet, just stop it. You're making us all look stupid. I don't need it. Don't need it. That's delicious. I don't know who invented coffee, but if you're listening, shout out. Absolute shout out. And I don't know if I could be sponsored by coffee, but if possibly I will be. I'm in. I'm in for it. Or whoever discovered caffeine, buzz me. You're probably not alive anymore, but if you are, buzz me and we'll chat. I'll do some promo stuff, whatever. Let's talk about those damn blowers. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know where you guys are from, but if you got gardeners in California, nobody does their own yard. And every gardener here is a blowing fun. I'm a firm believer that we pay for our gardener just to blow shit into our neighbor's yard. So neighbor, if you're listening, my bad, right? But here's a theory on that. If we're going to do that, let's have everybody in the neighborhood have the same gardener. They start at the end of the block and they just blow the shit down the block until eventually we blow it into somebody else's neighborhood and it's not our problem anymore. You know what I mean? But I feel like there's gardeners everywhere with these blowers. And not only does the sound drive me absolutely insane. I don't know if I mentioned this before in the show. I'm a sound weirdo. Like, I don't know if I can't see for shit. Blind as a bat, had contacts since I was like, I don't even remember, like when I had to get my driver's license. Cannot see a thing, but these ears, I can hear some of you guys talking right now. That's how sensitive my ears are. So blowers and obnoxious noises drive me absolutely insane. And I don't know why. But then on the flip side, at my fitness studio, there is I'm in like a big shopping center. And between my shopping center and the shopping center, what I would say across the way, I don't even know what that means. There's like a drainage ditch, like a big drainage ditch where if it rains, and it very rarely rains here in the desert, but this thing fills up with water and the water, blah, 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 and it rolls away and goes away. But it's this big dirt ditch, for lack of a better term. And there's a shopping center on the other side of the dirt ditch. And so every Monday, the gardeners that handle that, and there's no grass. So all these gardeners at this shopping center do is blow. And it's a massive shopping center. They just blow the shit from one end to the other and then blow it into the street or blow it into my shopping center across the dirt ditch. And every Monday they go into the dirt ditch and blow the dirt. It's the wildest thing I've ever seen. They blow the dirt from where the dirt is to where the dirt is for hours. And sometimes I just will look out the windows and I'm perplexed at and listen, this isn't on this. Somebody's instructed them to do what they're doing, right? This is not a disparaging. I love our gardener. Love him. Unbelievable human, hardest working guy in the business. Like if you guys live where I live, it's already 100 degrees here. It's going to be 179 degrees during the middle of summer. And this dude is here he's in my neighborhood every single day, rain or shine, 197 degrees or hotter, and works his butt. The hardest working people in the business, 100%. Love him. Absolutely love him. But I don't understand the blowing. I don't get it. I do not get it. If somebody can explain it to me, I would be fine with having some dirt and leaves in my yard if we could just ban blowers. I would. I promise you. Like I'll get a broom and a little dustpan and I'll pick up the shit that needs to be picked up. But oh man, is it annoying. And speaking of annoying, let me just since I'm on it, I'm on the box, I'm on the soapbox. Can I keep going for 1 second? I live in if you have a kid, and I'm going to say elementary school because I think most high school kids are probably driving themselves or getting somebody to take them to school. But I live right by an elementary school. And some of you guys probably know where this is going. I live right by an elementary school. Shout out to higher education, educating the youth, all those things. But school drop off and pickup, and I don't have kids. Caveat, I don't have children. So I'm completely speaking out of my ass when it comes to what this process is like, the chaos that must be going on in your brains or in your lives when this has to happen. But you guys are a problem. School drop off and pickup, you guys that are dropping kids off have lost your minds. It's like Baghdad outside of my gate. If I try to go when somebody's getting dropped off or picked up at school, literally, some of you guys are driving in the wrong lane to come swing around and try to get into the school. Everybody else trying to do the same thing. Like you guys are going 4 wide in a 2 wide scenario and not giving a shit that anybody else is even that might even be in the realm of just trying to get from A to B. It's a wild scene. It reminds me of the first time I went to, I think it was Cancun, and I realized that the lanes don't matter. Like you can literally drive down the wrong side of the road if you're in Cancun and nobody gives a shit. People just think that's normal. Like roundabouts, stoplights, it's just suggestions. Yes, it was red. You went anyway. Like that's how I feel about elementary school drop off, especially the one by my house. Absolute chaos. People are driving in the grass. Like, so I'm only thinking like, what is going on in their brain? Because in my brain, I'm thinking like, what is happening? Like this is complete and utter shenanigans. So I can only imagine how you guys feel. So that's a little bit of just let's just try to keep it in the lane. You know what I mean? Like and then let the other people who don't have the drop off and stuff like that, just know that we're not trying to hurt anybody. We're just trying to get to the studio, maybe trying to get to the store. We're trying to run an errand, something of that nature. I understand that the stress and the chaos that must be going on inside of that car. But just know that, hey, we're all on the same team. Not a good look to get an offender bender dropping off, little Jimmy John for 3rd grade, right? He doesn't need it. She doesn't need it. Like you don't need it. And so let's just maybe try to straighten it up a little bit. That's just suggestion. But I'm going to drop that in the suggestion box. You guys do with it what you want. Don't have kids. So maybe I just go out the back gate from now on. I just solved my own problem. I'm going to start going out the back gate. Therefore, you guys can do what it is that you're doing and nobody gets harmed, or I don't get, the shade for feeling like maybe it's a little chaotic up there. And because I don't know, I'm going to be honest with you. I was a school crossing guard when I was in the 6th grade. We used to get to rotate that safety patrol. Maybe that was it called. Any of you guys that were in that with me, maybe you can let me know. Was it called safety patrol? I think we got to wear a little armband, had a big stop sign, walk across, help people walk across the road. So I was a big advocate for that. So I kind of do know what I'm talking about. It's kind of my, it's been in my blood forever. So maybe we bring back safety patrol. Maybe I get my own stuff and head out there during drop off and pick up and just do some like philanthropy work. You know what I mean? Just help people get in and out. Maybe like a little, waving to the batons, like you're parking at Disney or at a ballpark or something like that. Maybe dropping a plane back. I don't know. We'll figure it out together. Let's move on. Let me give you guys a tip. So I get these questions all the time from my friends and people who know about me. So I go to Las Vegas once a month, once every 6 weeks. And so I have got recommendations out the wazoo. So if you guys want to know where to eat, sleep, get a beverage, go to a show, shop, do whatever it is, I'm probably your guy for that. So hit me up, let me know. So let me just give you an unsolicited tip of the week, because this is one of my new favorite restaurants in Vegas that is very under touted. And so I believe it's a restaurant chain, maybe out of Miami, but it's a restaurant chain called LPM. LPM. It's a Mediterranean French restaurant, which completely turned me off at first. I was like, that doesn't sound like anything I would even remotely want. And my host kept saying, hey, have you tried LPM? Have you tried LPM? Have you tried LPM? And so finally, I can't remember if we went with Raj or what. But anyway, I'll go to LPM. And You guys know me, I'm a steak guy. So I'm looking on the menu and there's like, hey, ribeye steak. And I'm like, cool, I'll have that. Knock it out. Not to mention just the ribeye. They have an unbelievable octopus. It's shaved down like razor thin in this like olive oil something unbelievable, like an olive oil. I mean, an octopus like carpaccio type thing. The beef carpaccio is fantastic. Lori gets this interesting drink there. It's called a tomato teeny. So it's like a martini made with tomato, which sounds absolutely ridiculous. The last time we were there, we've eaten there probably like 10 times now. The last time we were there, which was a few weeks ago, I'm like, screw it. Give me one. Fired up. Send your boy a tomato teeny, which is not usually my jam. Ridiculous. Unbelievable. Absolutely good. If you go there, get a tomato teeny. But let's get back to this ribeye. I've had steaks at some of the finest steakhouses in the country. And the ribeye at LPM in the Cosmopolitan, Las Vegas, I mean, I'd put it toe to toe with some of the best steaks that I've had. And so finally I asked the waitress the last time, I'm like, what's going on here? Why is this ribeye better than virtually any ribeye that I've ever had? And why does it taste like it's cooked on a charcoal grill? Like, why do I taste like somebody won an award for charcoal grill in this ribeye? And so she goes on to explain to me that it's this special oven called a Josper. So Josper, Josper oven. So it's a grill. It's often described as a charcoal grill, but it uses a unique cooking method that involves burning charcoal and then directing the heat and smoke toward the food. So it sounds like some kind of smoker / grill / something I don't even know about, but it's a branded thing. It's called a Josper. So if you get the opportunity and you're a steak person, even if you're not, go there and eat because the food is fantastic. But this ribeye, I'm telling you, pound for pound right now, it's in the top 5. And that's a bold statement. That is an absolute bold statement coming from me because I've had some unbelievable steaks. But if you're a ribeye person, this thing will blow your face off. Get the octopus carpaccio, get the beef carpaccio, get the shrimp. I'm gonna load you up on appetizers too. Like, get all those, right? Those are pretty low carb, so you're not gonna get super full. And then get yourself that ribeye and then just forget about it. They also have a delicious looking sea bass. Everybody tells me the lamb chops because it's cooked on the Josper as well. Your boy doesn't eat lamb. Not a big lamb guy. So I can't give you any feedback on that at all. But everybody says that it's absolutely fantastic. So if you're a lamb person, but if you go there, let me know. Get the ribeye. Blow your face off. Unbelievable. Delicious. All right. The Good Life formula. What is that? So I've been writing a newsletter on my Thrive Forever Fit email list forever. And so if you're interested, all you have to do is go to thriveforeverfit.com. You can sign up for the newsletter list. You'll see a thing on my website that says the 7 hidden reasons why diets don't work. So you're going to get a little PDF when you sign up for it, but sign up for it because every Monday I send out what I call the Good Life formula. And it's a combination of my Monday message, which is a little bit of like a motivational, start your week on a high note, positivity. Here we go. High five, hugs, hand pounds. That comes out every Monday. And so it's the Monday message. Then the second section is called Healthy Hack. So I give you like a health tip on a supplement, on some way to just be a healthier version of yourself. And then the last section is a did you know section, kind of like the steak thing I just told you about. It's just like interesting things that I find interesting that you might also find interesting. So if you'd like to get on that new, and I don't spam you, I'm going to send a newsletter out on Monday only. You might occasionally get a rando if I've got something special to say. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not advertising anything. There's no anything in there. It's just info. It's just value. It's just you getting some valuable information. So go to thriveforeverfit.com, sign up for that, and you'll get that every single Monday. And that is not in conjunction with, but that's separate from if you're on my BuzzBuddy list. So anybody who doesn't know what BuzzBuddy is, this show's not sponsored, but if it was, it would be sponsored by my new product, my new business called BuzzBuddy, which is a alcohol metabolism, liver protection, brain protection, anti-hangover product for anybody who likes to consume alcoholic beverages. So that's what that product is. And so that's a completely separate email. So if you're on that email, you're not going to see the Monday message. That's strictly going to be BuzzBuddy. I'm going to be talking about like our favorite bars, our favorite bartenders. So I have 2 email options. Let's just say that. if you want that, the BuzzBuddy email, just go to buzzbuddy.com. So I give you guys like drink recipes, my favorite cocktail, reasons why you should use BuzzBuddy, BuzzBuddy discount codes, things of that nature, my bartender of the week, my cocktail of the week, my hidden bar of the week. So if you go to Vegas, there'll be a lot of like Vegas information on there as well. Like, hey, here's where you should go for this particular cocktail. Here's the bartender you should ask for. Tell them Jay sent you, that type of jazz. And I think you will absolutely enjoy both of those emails if you're somebody who just likes value and content. So let's get ourselves out of here. Let me end this with a little bit, just a little message for you guys. So I've been having this thought lately about, I'm always thinking about success. Like, how can I be more successful and how can I help the people around me be more successful? And so I heard a quote, and I've heard this for a long time. It's a little bit of like I'd say it's maybe like an Instagram like meme or something that goes around. It's Mike Tomlin. He's the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's given this speech, and he talks about it's not what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do that matters. And he's talking to his team, obviously, and it always just hits me strong. It hits me hard because I firmly believe that. Like, I think we're all capable. I think we all have an ability to live a better version of the life that we're living, even if that version you're living right now is absolutely unbelievable and you love everything about it. Like, there's something that's really cool about like wanting to just be more, do more, have more, because then I can be more, do more, have more for other people. So it's not what I'm capable of doing. It's really what I'm willing to do. And the same thing goes for you. And I thought about this. I'll tell you a quick story. So I get my blood work done every 3 months just because I'm a health freak. I'm a health fanatic. I want to know what's going on. I want to optimize. Again, it goes back to being, doing, and having more. It's like, I want to make sure that at 50, I'm optimizing the rest of my dots, the rest of my time here. I want it to be healthy and fit and active and disease free and pharmaceutical free and have just the highest level of fun that I can have. And so my blood work comes with a review from my doctor every 3 months. And so part of that review is I have to fill out a questionnaire before, like, hey, has anything changed? And there's a whole like quality of life section in there. And she said to me this time, she said, hey, I've got to let you know something. She's like, and I just feel compelled to tell you. She's like, your quality of life score is abnormal. And I was like, huh? Like, when you're getting a blood review, you never want to hear the words abnormal. She said, it's abnormally high. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you score almost 10 out of 10 on every quality of life assessment that we've given you. And I went back and assessed since you started this process, and it's been the same the whole time. And I know through talking to you that you started new businesses, you're trying to optimize your health, like you're working out 7 days a week, you travel a ton, like you're trying to do all these things like to be more, have more, do more, have a better quality of life. And I know that has to come with some stress. And I can tell by some of the markers in your blood that there's some internal systemic stress going on. One of the reasons I do that is I have an abnormally high CRP, which is a C-reactive protein, stress-related, blah, blah, blah. I've had that since I was a kid. So I'm really trying to manage and mitigate that number right now. But she said, and I said, really? I said, that's odd. And she said, Jay, I want you to know that, like, I said, well, what's normal? And she said, the majority of the people, the average score for quality of life for the patients that I consult with is 5 and below. So 5 out of 10, right? So I'm like 10 out of 10. And she said, most people, the average, if not more, 80, 90%, 5% or 5 or below. And it hit me hard. And I was like, bummer. Like, that pisses me off because I want people to feel better, right? I want people, that's why I do this podcast. Like, I want you guys to feel better. I want you guys to live better. I want you guys to love better. I want you guys to like be, do, have all those things. Like, I want you to get up in the morning and be like, this is it. I'm so pumped to be here. So when I heard that, I was like, man, that's a bummer. Like, that means we got to do more, right? That means I got to do more. That means you got to do more, like, to get that quality of life score up. And I think there's a lot of facets. It talks about like, your mental health scores, your, financial scores, relationship scores, fitness and blah, blah. It talks about, basically everything that you would think it would encompass. And so it just bummed me out. And then I came to this quote and it was like, it's not what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do. And so what I want to tell you today, and I want to leave you with this, is that you're capable of astronomical feats. You're capable of so much more than you probably even think or believe that you are. And I'm here to tell you that you're an unbelievable specimen when it comes to your ability and your capability. But the thing I want you to focus on moving forward is your willingness. Like if you could, then you should. Right. So I think about that from a workout perspective. If I could do more, then I should do more. If I could run, but I'm walking, then I should run. I should jog. I should trot. Like I should put forth that extra willingness because that's what's going to get me to the next level. Like willingness is always going to outperform talent if talent's not willing, right? You're all talented. You're all capable. You're all amazing, but you got to be willing to live the life that you say that you want to live. And that means making some challenging decisions from time to time. That means not eating the thing you know you shouldn't eat if you want to get to a different health and wellness and physical perspective. That means financially making a different decision than you're currently making if you're not at that financial, you know, windfall that you want. That means relationship wise, like going the extra mile, like giving the extra hug, saying the extra I love you, holding the extra hand, kissing the forehead, writing the note, doing those things. It means doing all those little things. The willingness is what's holding you back, not the capability, because every single one of you are so capable. So I want to leave you with that. I want you to know that you're capable. I want you to know that you've got more in the bag than you're pulling out, and I want you to start using it. All right, I forgot my trending topics, but I'm going to hit you with them really quick. You know what? Let's end on that. Let's end on that note right there because I want you to know that you're loved. I want you to know that you're amazing. I want you to know that I believe in you. There's people that don't even know you, they just know who you are and watch you are believing in you. And so I want you to believe in yourself this week. So as we cruise through this week, I want you to ask yourself this question: what am I willing to do that I'm currently not doing? And then I want you to start doing that thing. And I want you to leave no doubt. I want you to leave no doubt when it comes to your awesomeness and your success. All right. Love you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.